Following the Sayyid dynasty came the Lodi dynasty. And the first ruler of the Lodi dynasty, Ibrahim Lodi, was not a literate man. Not surprising, because under the Sayyid dynasty period, there was no education, and because of that lack of education, the next dynasty's ruler didn't have any education. He took over by force. There must have been a strong revolt or war and fighting, and he won, and he took over the charge. However, we see a change in trend because he realized that he wasn't literate enough, but that is not what he wanted for his people. And so he began once again to show appreciation for scholars and learned people. He found the scholars, he found the learned people, he got them together and rewarded them. No matter what discipline you were good at, could have been literature, could have been art, painting, sculpture, science, math, didn't matter what area you were good at. If you were good at something, you were appreciated, you were rewarded, and you were made to train other people in whatever you knew. So, we see a resurge of educational activities under the Lodi dynasty. Although its first ruler was not a literate man, he understood the need and the importance of providing education for his people, and he found the individuals, he found the scholars, he found the learned people, and brought them to his courts. The next ruler of the Lodi dynasty was Sikandar Lodi. He was a literate man. He obviously was beginning to receive an education under the Lodi dynasty. So through his education and his own interest in literature and learning, he turned out to be more literate than his predecessor, Ibrahim Lodi. Persian language flourished in his reign, and many books were translated from Sanskrit into Persian. So again, what this second ruler of the Lodi dynasty foresaw was, because there was a dearth from the Sayyid dynasty period of literature and writing, and because the Lodi dynasty itself was not producing enough of its own literature, he had the foresight to bring in the Sanskrit works and have them translated into the Persian language, which was the language of learning at the time. So, it goes to show that if rulers have foresight and if rulers have vision, they will find the means to provide what they need to provide for their masses. And this is what Sikandar Lodi was able to do. He saw the dearth or the shortage of literary works in his kingdom. He was not happy with it. He wanted literature to flourish in his kingdom, and so he brought literature from another part of the world, the Sanskrit literature, and had the scholars translate that into his own language of learning, which was Persian. The next ruler of the Lodi dynasty was Ibrahim Lodi, and he unfortunately turned out to be an idle man. Was not interested in learning, was not interested in literature, and during his reign not much work was done in the literary sense. So during the Lodi dynasty period, we see at the two extremes, the beginning and towards the end, an illiterate individual coming and taking hold of the kingdom, and at the end, another idle man not interested in literature, learning, and stuff. While in the middle, there was this one individual who tried to bring about a resurgence of education and literature and literary works in his kingdom. Unfortunately, that did not last for too long, because with Ibrahim Lodi, an idle individual, he was more interested in entertainment and fun and was not keen on education or learning or providing scholarships to scholars in his kingdom and even appreciating them or rewarding them like his predecessor was trying to do. So with Ibrahim Lodi, we again see a decline in the trend of education and literary works during the Muslim dynasty rule in the subcontinent.